Hi everyone, it's Simone Watson, and today I want to talk about pantsing. Okay, so I don't usually make videos on Friday, but I was gonna come and make a NaNoWriMo update anyway since I haven't made one yet. And while I am here, I'm going to talk about pantsing because I saw something today that disturbed me a little bit. And I know I've talked about pantsing a lot on this channel, but the thing is, part of the reason I talk about pantsing so much is because sometimes I feel like I have to defend it because I feel like there are so many people that are disparaging toward pantsing as a process. By pantsing, I do mean writing a novel without an outline, or a story in general, I guess, without an outline. There are people that are disparaging toward that as a process, and there are other people that are like, hey, you do you, we'll do what we're gonna do. Some people are gonna plot, some people are gonna pants, etc. Um, but the thing is, like, I try not to be like taking it personally when people are disparaging towards pantsing as a process because, I mean, obviously pantsing is not me. Like I've mentioned that I plant. Sometimes I pants, probably pants more than I plan, but it's not my like identity. It's not like someone who says something bad about pantsing is saying something bad about me. However, in this specific case, it felt like what was being said was a little. I'm just gonna kind of explain. I was watching a video where someone talked about plotting and pantsing, and I'm not calling somebody out or like here to like attack anybody, but the person in the video said like that basically you really need an outline, like you pretty much need an outline for your story to be good unless you're a very small contingent of people like Stephen King, but most of us are not Stephen King and therefore can't pants and get a good result. Which, I mean, I've heard this before, that if you pants, you're not going to get a good result. I've heard that before, so that was fine. But then this person said, you know, young people usually don't like to be organized, and pantsing kind of the way I understood it, pantsing was being associated by this person with disorganization. And this person was saying, young people don't really like to get organized, but then um, older people like to get organized because they're okay with being adults, and therefore they get organized and outline their stories and etc. And the thing that was so kind of like concerning to me about this is it seemed to be implying that in order to be an adult you have to outline your novels. Like if you pants, you are somehow less mature than plotters. And there was also sort of a slight implication that pantsers may just be pantsing because they're lazy and don't feel like plotting, or think that plotting would be hard or plotting would be a lot of work. Um, I don't. I feel like this. I feel like these assumptions are incorrect. The assumptions that pantsers are less mature than plotters and that pantsers are, somehow lazy. I mean, like, here's the thing. One of the arguments that we hear against pantsing sometimes is that you shouldn't pants because you'll have a lot of work to do in revisions. So obviously, pantsers have a lot of work to do. It's just a matter of like, at what point do you want to lay the, technical groundwork of the story? Do you want to make an outline and then write, or do you want to write your story and then possibly have to reorganize it in revisions? But even to say that almost assumes that if you pants, your draft won't be clean, your draft won't be organized, your draft will be all out of order and will be a mess. And yeah, like first drafts can be messy, like that's totally cool. But like there are just so many assumptions here that I feel are incorrect. First of all, you could pants and you could get a relatively clean first draft. Your first draft could be somewhat logical. You could have an understanding of story structure. And I think that that's the thing that is sort of misunderstood a lot, is that if you pants, your story will have no structure, like just none. But the thing is, some people do have an understanding of story structure because they either have read a lot of books, watched a lot of movies, or they have whatever movies or books they have, consumed, whatever stories they've consumed, they have um they've analyzed from a story structure standpoint. So you do understand that you need certain things before you go into writing the story. So if you understand those things, you can pants it, and you may not know, okay, here's exactly what's going to happen toward the end, but you need your story to have a climax. Like, hello, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know that. And even if you don't know that, you can still pants, but I'm just saying the assumption that you're just going into it blind and have no idea how to tell a story is an incorrect assumption. Okay, because some people pants with a basic understanding of story structure and know that they need to hit certain points even if they don't know exactly how to hit those points or exactly what will happen at those points, etc. But perhaps what's even more important than that is, like, when you pants, even if you don't know, a lot about the story before you write it, Brandon Sanderson refers to pantsing as discovery writing, because he's saying, like, you're discovering the story as you write it. You're finding out what's going on as you're writing it. And, like, that's true. To pants can help you to get, like, an understanding. I've probably said this before, to get an understanding of how the world in which you're writing works, and how those characters that you're writing, how they interact, how they react to situations, how they need to react to situations. Now, one might argue that you also get this understanding from outlining, because you know your characters need to do this and this point, etc. I understand that, but I'm just saying, as a pantser, you kind of get this organic process of your characters needing to react to situations, and so they do. And in that way, it's like doing improv comedy. And I feel like for an actor who acts from a script, to go to an improv comedian and be like, no, your process is wrong. Improv is wrong. You can't get a good result from improv comedy. I feel like I guess it's a matter of opinion. If you've seen improv comedy and you just don't like it at all, sure, like, it could be your opinion that all improv comedy is bad, but at the same time, like, it's a different way of doing the art. And, like, a lot of people enjoy improv comedy as an art form. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it is the same principle, because you're thinking on your feet, because you're going with the last thing that happened. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of the scene when you start at the beginning of the scene. Okay? But when we're writing, we do have that added benefit of, even if we didn't know what was going to happen when we started the scene and then we, like, come back later, or if we didn't know what was going to happen when we started the book, we have that added benefit of coming back in revision and changing things. And so I think that before people say that, like, pantsing can't produce a good result, or that people pants because they're immature or whatever, I feel like it's important to let the work speak for itself, and not to just say, oh, well, Stephen King can write well when he pantses, but no one else can write well when they pants. No, like, I feel like we need to let the work speak for itself. So, like, don't tell me that my writing is bad if you haven't read it. Like, I kind of feel like that's the bottom line. Unless you have read it and can say that it's structurally deficient, I don't think that it's good to assume that just because it's pantsed, it must be structurally deficient. Okay, so, again, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not trying to attack anybody, and I would love to hear other people's thoughts or, viewpoints on this. And, just please let me know what you think in the comments. I do think that to try outlining is good advice. Like, it's good for new writers to try outlining, but I also don't think that new writers should be made to feel that there's something wrong with them if they come out of the gate pantsing, that they necessarily are, immature or whatever. Like, I feel like that's counterproductive, because then they're going to feel bad about their writing process. And it's like, it's your process. You have to work with it. and find what works for you. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye.